the number of homes repossessed over the coming year could reach 75,000, a figure not seen since the housing crash of the early 1990s, and that is the estimate of British mortgage lenders. The Prime Minister has unveiled a surprise package of new measures, which he says will help people who are struggling with mortgage repayments. Our business editor, Robert Peston, has the details.
Our economic woes mean hardship for many homeowners. Bank repossessions of houses next year are set to soar to 75,000, within a whisker of the record of the last recession set in 1991. Also, ministers have been warned by the body that represents lenders, the Council of Mortgage Lenders. That fear of being evicted became very real to Damien Druce in Macclesfield 8 weeks ago, when he lost his job.
We slipped into our second month's arrear on the 1st of October.
And today, he's still struggling.
It's been really, really stressful. I think I'm not sleeping particularly well. It is really, really hard.
A new government initiative is designed to ease the anxiety of Damien Druce and thousands of others struggling to keep up the mortgage payments.
Hard-working households that experience a redundancy or significant loss of income as a result of the downturn will be able to defer a proportion of their interest payments for up to 2 years while they get their family finances back on track. This measure is in addition to our protection for the unemployed, who after 13 weeks can claim help with a mortgage.
This attempt to prevent overstretched families being evicted has a catchy name, the Homeowner Support Scheme. For families who suffer a collapse in earnings, it encourages banks to defer their interest payments for up to 2 years. But payments are only postponed. As and when the breadwinners are earning again, they'd have to pay the interest, and if they fail to do so, well, under Gordon Brown's government guarantee, it would be all of us, as taxpayers, who'd pick up the bill, not the banks.
I welcome anything that keeps people in their homes, and I want to look at the detail of Gordon Brown's scheme to see if it really does that. We don't know enough about the detail now.
It's only last week they were saying the previous scheme for people who'd been made unemployed would be enough. They've come with a rabbit out of the hat today, but as usual with this government, it's come out rather half-baked, and it's now more questions than answers.
It's a good idea in theory. It should be, because it's something we advocated several months ago. It'll all depend how it's applied in practice. In particular, will it cover enough families who fall into arrears?
So how many struggling families will be helped? Well, according to the Housing Minister, perhaps not as many as you might think, given the fanfare.
I think some of the lenders have said maybe they think about 9,000 families. There are probably, and I say this with a lot of caution, but there are probably more people fearful of their home having to be repossessed
than
actually could face it. But is that fear that we want to ease?
So you wouldn't, you're not overstating this. This is a small step, but this is a small offer to help the way.
I think, I sort of almost wish I hadn't given you that number, because nobody really knows.
And then there's a question of whether repossessions will be eliminated or just postponed. If the economy weren't to recover, those not evicted next year could yet have their houses seized and auctioned in 2012. Robert Peston, BBC News.
Well, the new mortgage measures had not been included in the Queen's speech, which was delivered earlier in the day. The speech included plans for just 14 pieces of legislation, the smallest number since Labour came to power. There'll be a new UK-wide banking bill offering depositors greater protection and allowing the Bank of England to intervene earlier to help struggling banks. A welfare reform bill for England, Scotland and Wales is designed to offer more incentives and indeed more sanctions to get people back to work. New rules on immigration will mean people who commit crimes or fail to integrate will find it harder to become British citizens. And there are also plans in England and Wales to crack down on binge drinking, and some promotions and special offers will indeed be banned. Well, it also emerged at Westminster today that police did